pressure to report highlights of the region's economic performance using two measures: the gross regional domestic product, or the GRDP, and the gross regional domestic expenditure, or the GRDP. The GRDP measures the economic performance of the region from the perspective of the producers of goods and services. It covers the value of goods and services produced in the region during the reference period. Meanwhile, the GRDP measures the economic performance of the region from the perspective of the expenditures of residents of the region. It is defined as the expenditure of residents of the region in the domestic territory plus their expenditures in other regions, including the rest of the world. My presentation starts with the economic performance of BARMM, followed by the highlights of the GRDP, and then we'll delve into the highlights of GRDP. It will also present the per capita GRDP and HFC, including the performance of BARMM as compared with other regions. I will end my report this morning by presenting the summary points of the 2024 economic performance of the BARMM. I will be discussing the economic performance of the BARMM in 2024. So, ladies and gentlemen, handa po kayo?
Yes. Handa na.
Now, the economy activity. The economy of the Consumable Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao grew by 2.7% in 2024.
2.7%.
GDP growth by 2.7% in 2024, a deceleration from the 4.0% posted in 2023. Valued at constant 2018 prices, the economy of the BARMM region was estimated at 299.48 billion pesos in 2024, up from the 291.59 billion pesos recorded in 2023. Now, let us take a closer look at the economic performance of the region from the producer side, or the production side. Let us look at how the major industries performed in 2024. So, on the screen, except for the agriculture, forestry, and fishing, all major industries grew in 2024. Industry accelerated from a sluggish 4.6% growth in 2023 to a healthy 8.7% in 2024, while services recorded a slower growth of 5.1% in 2024 from 6.4% in the previous year. These gains, however, were negated by the decline in agriculture, forestry, and fishing, which registered a contraction of 4.2% from 2.4% in 2023. Now, let us talk about the share of major industries in the region's economy. The economy of the region is predominantly service-based, accounting for 42.0% of the region's economy. This industry is valued at 125.69 billion pesos in constant 2018 prices. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing followed with a share of 32.4% and estimated at 97.88 billion pesos. Meanwhile, industry accounted for 25.6% of the region's GDP with a gross value added of 76.61 billion pesos. On the share to gross value added of agriculture, forestry, and fishing in BARMM, let us take a look at the present share of the sub-industries of agriculture, forestry, and fishing in terms of annual growth rates at constant 2018 prices. Crops accounted for the highest share with 58.8%, followed by fishing and aquaculture with 29.4%. Support activities of agriculture, forestry and fishing has 10.1% share, while animals has 1.6%. Forestry and logging, on the other hand, had the least share with 0.04%. For the industry sector, electricity, steam, water and waste management has the largest share with 51.3%, followed by manufacturing with 37.7%, while construction shared by 8.7%. Mining and quarrying had the least share with 2.3% share. On the 42.0% share of the services in the total GDP of BARMM, the following are the percent share of each sub-industry of services. Wholesale and retail trade, the repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles, have the largest share, accounting for 2.4%, followed by public administration and defense, compulsory social security with 22.3%. Education with 17.1%, transportation and storage with 12.2%, information and communication with 7.2%, real estate and ownership of buildings and human health and social work activities, each with 4.8% share. Financial and insurance activities with 4.2%, accommodation and food services activities with 1.4%, while professional and business services accounted for 0.9%. Other services activities not included in the aforementioned industries accounted for the remaining 0.7%. Looking at the performance of industries, the top three major contributors to the 2.7% growth of the region were electricity, steam, water and waste management with 1.1 percentage point, wholesale and retail trade,
Tapos inunasan ka muna kung talo.
0.7
Kasi langan.
percentage point, and manufacturing with 0.5 percentage point. Meanwhile,
Kung dalong ka gani, nakalive ka.
fastest growing industries in 2024 were construction, which expanded by 26.0%, professional and business services, which grew by 12.5%, and human health and social work activities with 10.9%. Examining closer the economic structure of BARMM in 2024, the three largest sub-industries were agriculture, forestry and fishing, accounting for 32.4% share of the region's GDP, followed by electricity, steam, water and waste management, contributing 13.1% share, and
Mas pinagod ka lumaywap sa team sa sawalo na
repair of
cellphone.
motor vehicles and motorcycles, contributing 10.2%.
Sana niya kabulog, di ibagawin na kabulog.
Industries constituted 55.7% of the region's GDP. The remaining 44.3% share was shared by the rest of the 13 sub-industries from manufacturing down to the other sectors.
Sila kayo popost ko man sa team ito.
Let's see the economic performance of the region from the demand side or the gross regional domestic expenditure. Again, the gross regional domestic expenditure or GRDE is defined as the expenditure of residents of the region within the domestic territory plus the expenditures in other regions, including the rest of the world. All expenditure items increased in 2024 except intellectual property products, valuables, exports of goods to the rest of the world, and durable equipment. The top contributors were imports of services from the rest of the world, which grew by 67.7%, followed by construction, which expanded by 26.0%, and imports of services to the rest of the world at 14.9%. exports of services to the rest of the world posted a growth of 4.9%. Government financial consumption expenditure at 3.9%, and household final consumption expenditure at 3.6%. As to the contributions to growth, the household final consumption expenditure has the largest contribution with 4.1 percentage points, followed by the government spending at 1.4 percentage points. Gross capital formation with 1.63 percentage point, and net export to the rest of the Philippines with 1.59 percentage points. Meanwhile, the net exports to the rest of the world pulled down economic growth by 6.0 percentage points. In terms of shares of expenditures, items in the regional economy, household final consumption expenditure, or HFCE, had the biggest share in the regional economy of the BARMM with 115.3%. Government financial consumption expenditure accounted for 36.8%, and gross capital formation had accumulated 21.1%. Meanwhile, net exports to the rest of the world and net export to the rest of the Philippines registered negative growth of 8.0% and 65.1% respectively. Let me now present our regions per capita, GDP, and HFCE on the average to the economic output of the BARMM region for the year 2020. The per capita GDP refers to the annual value of the regional economy accounted for each person in the region. Now, the per capita GDP posted a growth of 1.0% in 2024, registering a per capita GDP level of 56,643 pesos. This is lower than the 2.4% growth recorded in the previous year. Per capita GDP in 2023 was estimated at 56,058 pesos. Meanwhile, per capita HFCE, or the amount of the annual household spending per person, was estimated at 65,282 pesos in 2024. This is an increase of 1.9%, slower than the recorded increase of 5.8% in 2023. We will now take a look at the performance of region compared with the other regions of the country. In terms of performance vis-a-vis the other regions with 2.7% growth, BARMM region ranked last among the 18 regions nationwide. The national economy grew by 5.7%. 11 regions posted growth slower than the national growth rate, including the Bangsamoro region in Coastal Mindanao. In terms of structure of economy, among the 18 regions of the country, none of which is predominantly agriculture. Only one region is predominantly industrial, that is region 4A, or the Cotabato region, while 17 other regions are predominantly service-based, including the Bangsamoro region in Coastal Mindanao. In terms of per capita GRDP for 2024 by region, BARMM posted 56,643 pesos in 2024, which is lower than the national average of 197,054 pesos. The National Capital Region posted the highest per capita GRDP with 503,483 pesos. In terms of growth rate, BARMM's per capita GRDP of 56,643 pesos was higher by 1.0% than the 56,058 pesos level in 2023. Region 7, or the Central Visayas region, registered the highest increment of 6.2%. The national per capita GRDP in comparison increased by 4.8%. For the 2024 per capita HFCE by region, BARMM posted 65,282 pesos, which is lower than the national estimate of 142,837 pesos. The National Capital Region posted the highest per capita HFCE with 264,343 pesos. In terms of growth rate, BARMM's per capita HFCE of 65,282 was higher by 1.9% than the 64,080 pesos level in 2023. Again, Region 7 of the Central Visayas region registered the highest increment of 6.6%. The national per capita GRDP in comparison again increased by 4.0%. Now in summary, the economy of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Mindanao grew by 2.7% in 2024. The per capita GRDP was estimated at 56,643 pesos, increased by 1.0%. The per capita HFCE of BARMM was estimated at 65,282 pesos, increased by 1.9%. On the production side, the top three fastest growing industries were the construction at 26.0%, professional and business services at 12.5%, and human health and social work activities at 9.9%. While on the expenditure side, top three fastest growing expenditure items in 2024 were the imports of goods from the rest of the world with 67.7%, construction at 36.0%, and imports of services from the rest of the world at 14.9%. So, before I end my presentation, I would like to acknowledge our valued data sources who contributed to the estimation of the 2024 GRDP provisions of data requirements. So as you can see in the screen, ma-recognize po natin ang ating mga seal from the Office of the Minister, BARMM, the Bangsamoro Planning and Development Authority, the Ministry of Health, ngayon is si Dr. Again, congratulations sir for the reappointment. And as you can see on data, one of the top three contributors is the Ministry of Social Services and Development, the Ministry of Basic, Higher, Technical Education, the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources and Energy, the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Agrarian Reform, Ministry of Human Settlement and Development, Ministry of Transportation and Communication, Ministry of Finance, Budget and Management, Ministry of Labor and Employment, Ministry of Interior and Local Government, and the Local Government Units. The representatives of some of our data sources are also here now to serve as source speaker during the open forum. Again, thank you to our valued partners. We hope that in the next year of estimation, you will still share the valuable information with the PSA for us to be able to come up with the quality GRD estimates. And that concludes our presentation on the performance of the economy of the BARMM region for the year 2024. Shukran and wassalamu alaikum.